Good morning friends. Today we will discuss about overview of Java language. So in the previous class we discussed about features of object oriented programming language, concept of OOPs, and we also discussed benefits and applications of object oriented programming language. So as I told you in the previous class, Java is a general purpose object oriented programming language. Already you know about what do you mean by object oriented programming language. So in this case we can develop two types of Java programs. Those two types are standalone application and web applets, that is also called as a web applets or a web application. So you already know about what you mean by standalone application and what you mean by web application. So standalone applications are the programs written in a Java to carry out a certain task on a standalone computer. This standalone computer is also called as what? That is also called as a local computer. It means the source code and execution of the Java programs both are done on a same machine. ಒಂದೇ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So that is called as a standalone application. To execute a Java programs, we don't need any other third application. So that's why this is called as a standalone application. See this program. So these are the ways of using a Java. So the first way, we can develop a applet type Java program or we can develop a application type Java programs. So if we develop a standalone application, that standalone application execution involves two steps. New standalone applications na execute ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we should follow the two steps. Already you know about how to execute the Java programs. First, we have to compile the Java program. After that, execute the bytecode by using the Java interpreters. So in the first step, we are going to compile the Java source code by using the Java C. Java C ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ compiler na use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we are going to compile the Java program. Once we successfully compile the Java program, next step is executing the bytecode. Already you know about the bytecode. So the Java program or a bytecode can be executed by using what? That can be executed by using a Java interpreter. So see this simple diagram. So this is a Java source code. So once the source code is ready, next step is what? That the program must be compiled by using a Java compiler. So if you use a applet, already you know about applet. Applet means what? These are the small Java programs. Those are called as applets. So applets are the small Java programs. Those are developed for internet applications. These are called as applets. And applets are located on distance computer. Distance computer means on server side. Applets ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾವೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ವರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And you can download those applets via internet connection and to be executed on the local computer. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ರಿ, ಸರ್ವರ್ ಒಳಗಿರುವಂಥ ಅಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ನ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಆಗಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ stored on your local computer. After that you can execute by using a Java enabled web browser. If you want to execute the applet type of Java programs, what we need a Java enabled web browser. Then only you can execute the applet type Java programs. But to execute the standalone application, we don't need any browser. Directly once we compile the Java programs, directly we can execute the program. So after that you will get the output. And see the next type. So in the application type, those are nothing but a standalone application. So once they successfully compile the Java program, next we need to execute the bytecode by using the Java interpreter. So once you successfully execute, or once the bytecode is successfully executed, what we get? We will get the desired output. So let us see one simple program or one simple Java programs. So see on the right hand side, the simple Java program. So the best way to learn any new programming language is to write the simple example for the programs. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ನ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ನ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೇ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we need to write a few simple programs. So let us start a simple program by using a object oriented language, that is a Java programming language. And see, as I already told, Java is a purely object-oriented programming language. So in this case, we are going to combine or include both the data and member function in a unit that is called as a class. So if you want to include any data member or a member function within the class. So in that case, what we need to create? First we need to create a class. See the statements of a given programs. So in the first statement we are creating the class my first program. So the first, always the creation of a class must begin with what? So that must be begin with the keyword class, and next that class must be open with the opening brace and it must be closed with the respective closing brace. And in the second statement we are including the main function, and the main function must be open with the opening brace and it must be closed with its respective closing brace. And this is the statement which we want to display on the screen. So let us see what are the purpose of these all statements. Why we need to include every statements in the program. So first see the first statement, that is class my first program. So in this statement class is a keyword. So we should create a class. So if you want to create a class must begin with a keyword class. That means this is a class which includes the data members and member functions which are used to manipulate the object. Already you know about what you mean by object. Object is a real world entity which specify the physical behavior also as well as a logical behavior. So that is called as a object. And after that you have to specify the class name. So this class name follows the identifier rules. Already you know about the rules of identifiers. So it must follow all rules of identifier. That is, it must start with alphabetical letters. Class name must start with alphabetical letters. There is no special characters. We should not use any special characters. And so in this Java programming language, a class name must begin with the capital letter. This is just a convention. This is not a strict rule. Always we need to begin a class name with a capital letter. Why? To differentiate between the packages, interfaces and other identifiers. So that's why we are always beginning a class name with a capital letter. And see the next statement, that is a bracket. In the second statement we are placing a opening brace. So this opening brace specifies that this is the beginning of the class. So and we should close the class with the respective closing brace. And see the third line. So in this line is a important statement in the Java programming language. Already we saw the main function in the C and C++ programming language. In the similar way, this is also conceptually similar to the main function of a C and C++ programming language. Already we know that in the C programming language, the execution of the program starts from where? It starts from a main function. In the similar way, in Java programming language also, always the execution of the program starts from main function. So as I told, a Java program may have more than one class, but a main function must be included in only one class, because a main function is a function where the execution of a program starts. That's why in Java programming language only one class must have a main function. So but see the slight difference in a main function of a C programming language and a Java programming language. In C, just we are specifying the data type and after that we are specifying the main function name. But in the Java programming language, a main function always be public static void main, and we have to specify the argument as a string args. What is the purpose of specifying these keywords beginning the main function? Because see here, this is a access specifier, this is a keyword, and this is the data type, and this is the main function, and these are the arguments. What are the uses of specifying this to the main function? So see, the public is a keyword or a access specifier. So by declaring the main function as a public, it specifies that the main method is unprotected. That means other classes also access this main method. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದರೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದ್ರಿ, ಈ ಮೇನ್ ಮೆಥಡನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ. Already we know the types of access specifier. There are 3 types of access specifiers are there. Those are public, private and protected. But here if you declare a method or a class as a public, it is accessible to the other classes. And next one is a static. So static means it is a one keyword which declares the method as a one that belongs to the entire class and not a part of a any object. That means this method is entirely belonging to the entire class, not a part of a single object. That's why we are specifying a main method as a static. And next one is a void. So what do you mean by void? So void is a data type that defines a main function is not returning any value. If we declared main method as a void, it means it is not returning any value. If it is a int, a main method is returning the integer type of a value. If it is a float, it means it is returning a floating type of a value. So these are the purpose of using a public static void main. And the string args means if you are passing the input at the command line argument, those are going to be stored in this string arrays. That's why we are using the string args in passing the argument string args to the main function. And see the fourth statement. In this fourth statement, we are displaying one statement as a hello Java. So in the C programming language, for our output function, we used printf function. It is similar to that function. So this is also built-in function. See here, system is a class name and this is the object and this is the method. So when we want to print any statement on the screen, so we always we need to write the statement, or we need to use the statement system.out.println. So println is a method which is present in the class system. If you want to access a method of a class, we must use the object of that class. So after that, include the statement which we want to display on the screen. And one more thing how to notice here, in the printf statement in C programming language, if you want to move a statement or a next output in the next new line, in that case we have to include the new line character /n. But in a Java programming language, there is no need to include the new line character at the end of the line. Automatically Java interpreter provides a new line for the next output line. So this is the simple example for the Java programming language. One thing you have to remember here, a class must begin with a class keyword and follow the identifier rules. By using those rules, specify the class name, and after that open the class by using the opening brace and close it by using the respective closing brace. And in Java programming language, we know that a Java program may contain more than one classes, but among that only one class must have a main function, and in main function always it must be public static void main, and we should provide a one argument of type string. And if you want to print any statement on the screen, we have to use system.out.println. So this is about the overview of Java programming language. So in the next class we will discuss next statement, next concept. So thank you.